All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. What's today's topic? Let's talk about Harbor Freight's drum sanding kits that you can buy, and I'll show you an advertisement right now. There's no discount applied, but let me show you. Okay, so I did a video on this a while back, and people were having difficulty, and a lot of people in the comments said, it's junk, you can't change the sandpaper out real easily. They're having difficulty with it, and they criticized it, and maybe there's something better out there and all this other stuff. Now, I've had mine for years, and this one's fairly new right here, this kit, but this is the Harbor Freight one, and I haven't had a problem with it. So let me show you just a couple of little tricks or tips, whatever you want to call it. To me, it just took a couple of minutes to figure out what was going to work smoothly and easily. So I'll share those with you right now. Now, do I like the kits? Yes, I do. I'm an intermittent user because I'm one of the home hobbyist DIY people. I think it's a good kit, especially, for the cost, and you should consider it for your shop. But let's get right to it. Let's take this large one right here. And they have difficulty, gauging the size of the sandpaper and making it fit correctly and changing it and all that. Now, first of all, there's a pin that goes in here. Let me show you. Okay, now that pin needs to come out, let's say, because when you first get it, it'll have a piece of sandpaper on it. Now on the back side right here, let me show you, there's a little slot right up here. You can take any kind of like a little screwdriver or anything like that and push it in, and what will happen is that pin will start to come out, like right here. You can see it's coming out. So I'm going to remove the pin. Okay, that's what holds the sandpaper in when you push it in through that hole. I'll show you that in a sec. So you're going to replace the sandpaper. Now what I did right off of the bat is I laid this out and I measured it because it's the one that it came in the kit. I mean, you can do trial and error or whatever to figure out the same thing. I measured this and I thought, okay, for me, it came down to 10.5 inches by 3. And I used a Sharpie and I wrote it on the bottom here so that I always knew what size sandpaper to cut out and it'd fit perfectly every time. Okay, so let's say you got your piece of sandpaper cut out now, and then I turn around right here on each edge and I fold it over. Well, let's say that that's probably about 3/8 of an inch or so. You'll get an idea because you want it to go down in the hole right here, and you want it to get in there because when the pin goes in, it goes between the pieces of sandpaper, kind of pushes it out, and that's what creates the locking to hold it in. So here it is again. Okay, so now let's put this piece of paper, the sandpaper, in here, and I folded an edge on each side. So I put it in right here, and I wrap it around, and I go ahead and I put it in the other side. Okay, I have it in there nice and tight, the sandpaper sticking down in the hole. Then I take this, and what I did is I've kind of flattened it a little bit here with a hammer on one end. But when I push the pin in, and I can feel it pushing on the sides, and I just start to get it in there to where it wedges. That pushing against the sides of the sandpaper in the hole is going to hold it nice and tight. So now you're ready to go ahead and use it. So to avoid the frustration, I know it's common sense, it's real simple, but I think people forget. Measure the piece of sandpaper, take a Sharpie, write the dimensions on the bottom, and it's an easy change out. Now, I will tell you, and I'm going to leave links below to the Amazon kit that I bought, but you also can get them out at Harbor Freight. I got the one off Amazon because these have smaller mandrels for smaller kinds of projects. The ones out at Harbor Freight, they're a little bit larger, but they work really good on wood where I've got notch corners and stuff like that. And I put this in the drill press and I can come in with a piece of wood and I can really sand and clean them up. So both sets are real handy for me. Both sets are inexpensive. I think they're a great addition to your shop. And just remember, if you're having a little bit of difficulty inserting the pin, this is what works for me. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm sure that there are other ways and people can drop them in the comments below, but these are really handy and they're worth considering because they're inexpensive. They come in a nice blow molded, you know, kind of a box here, even out at Harbor Freight. When you're done, you just put them back in there, and bingo, there you go. Okay, now this other set, the smaller one that I was telling you about that I got off Amazon with the smaller mandrels in here, these are a little bit different. And people go, well, they don't slide on and off that easy. This nut right here that you see on each one of these mandrels will smash, it will smash down this rubber and expand it, and that's what holds that little cylindrical piece of sandpaper. So to me, again, it's just a matter of somebody telling you, and there's plenty of replacement, you know, drum little sanders that you can buy. And I use this, I mean, kind of frequently, but this is for much smaller stuff. Tighten the bolt, expands it, holds it in place. It's a great kit. And it also was on sale when I bought it. And I'll leave you the links on all this stuff below. But these drum sanding kits, like I said, very handy, worth considering. I know a lot of people criticize Harbor Freight, but when I read through the comments, and you start seeing all the comments because of how you change out the sandpaper and the difficulty, and they can't get the pin out and all this other stuff, you know, just stop, look at it, think about it, or like I said, just stop and think about it, because actually what works for me is just to come in behind here and push it out with a small screwdriver. The pin comes out, swap out the sandpaper. This, like I said, will push against the edges. You can rotate it a little bit, shove it in there, and you'll feel it tighten up. All right, folks, I mean, that's all I got for this video. I tried to make it short, got right to the point. I hope you click subscribe if you know of something better out there deal-wise, or you know of a better way of doing it than what I'm showing you. Leave it in the comment. Otherwise, like I said, this works for me, and I think it's a great kit. I'll see you in the next video. You folks have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.